Hey everybody, welcome to Fast Coasters and welcome to the first episode of Feusdrill Forest. This is going to be our park for the next coming months. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it'll last longer than the last series because I am committed to this series. Trust me on this one. I'm really happy with how the park's starting out so far. So this first episode we'll be doing the entrance and a couple of the main street buildings and our first coaster on the side. As you can see, I'm doing the entrance here. This is going to be kind of like a sawmill themed entrance area, sort of. So a lot of wood buildings, very triangular. I actually kind of got inspired off the Mammoth station at Tripsdrill. Tripsdrill and Schwaben Park are going to be our main inspirations for this build. This is a park located in Europe, probably in Germany, probably in the middle of like Phantasialand and Movie Park Germany, like that kind of area of Germany. We're in the temperate bio here. It's not going to be like a major park. It's going to be I'd say like a smaller park, but it's still going to be pretty big by the end of it. Not like a major player, but something that the locals would go to. So, you haven't seen it yet, but I'll show you later in the video the landscape of the area. There's a lot of rolling hills, and there's lakes. As we expand the map a little bit, I'll expand the terrain. Just wanted to put some terrain use in. You'll see me put the trees in later. Just to spice up the map a little bit because I think it's better when you work with terrain. As you'll see with a coaster that I'll build off camera, but you'll see in the next episode. I'll save that one for later. I'm just adding some windows here to add some depth to it. Again, the building was really triangular, but I did add some details to it off camera, and you'll see that in the real-time portion after the time lapse. Just putting in a fence here just to add some realism because obviously we don't want people just crowding the entrance. We want them to kind of funnel in. Deleted some of these, adding the ticket booths, so the information stands where people get fast passes and stuff. I'm still not sure if I'll put fast pass in this park, but we'll see. We're not going to be doing any queue line or station work today, so that'll be the next episode. And this will be where the tickets are. Obviously, this park is going to be in Germany, so you'll see me put some stuff in English, but it will be translated. In the real-time section, you'll see the translations for that. I'm going to put the entrance in now so people could come in. And yeah, so I didn't put the logo in this one, but I did make the logo out of the regular font. I believe it was the kind of creative, more I don't know how to say bolder font. There's a bolder one, and then there's a skinny one. Use the bolder one. So you see me put trees in there, the rolling hills. It just spices up the park so much. And I believe we are about to start our first coaster, which is going to be a GCI wooden roller coaster. This one isn't going to be that huge. It's going to be kind of like a smaller mid-tier GCI. About, I think, 110 feet it is. It is inspired by Mammoth at Tripsdrill. Now, Mammoth, I understand, is not a GCI. It's made by I believe it's a German company. And from what I hear, it's crap. People say the first drop is good, but other than that, the coaster, it looks like a GCI, but it certainly doesn't ride like one. So this GCI, the first half is basically inspired by Mammoth, but the second half is my own thing. Just does a couple little turns. Airtime Hills, it's not going to be the longest GCI in the world. It is pretty short, all things considered. But I do think it's going to be still a great first entrance coaster for the families to come in, because it's going to be mostly a family park. We're going to have throw coasters, obviously, but it's going to be mainly a family park because all the coasters that I've added so far are family coasters. You'll see the other coaster that I'll put in off camera is another family coaster. But this one, so did this overbank over the lift hill. There's a couple of airtime hills, and I profiled them so that they would have airtime, so it wouldn't just be some graceful gliding over the hill. Then did this kind of rising overbank element, and then I did some bunny hops, kind of in a turnaround layout, and then it will go back to the station. So it'll be on 2 trains. Again, it's not the longest GCI. It's just a solid entrance coaster. Yeah, as the off season is starting to come in, you'll see a lot more Planet Coaster content as I got a lot more time on my hands, as well as other coaster videos like reviews and rankings. Those will come back. News updates, those will probably come back. I think I'm gonna make a news update once the Giga Dive is revealed over Texas. Because let's be honest, we all know it's a Giga. So just tested the coaster really quickly, just to make sure I got through the elements okay. It kind of went slow through some of them, so I did some lowering of the elements, but then I kind of put the friction down a teeny bit because I thought it was going through pretty slow. I'm not sure if it's like Planet Coaster 1 where the friction is kind of messed up on the wood coasters, but it's definitely not as bad as it was in the last game. You'd always have to turn the friction down to like 0.8 if you wanted an accurate friction for the wood coaster. Here's just a sped up POV. You're going to get a full POV in the next episode once we complete the coaster. See, just coming through, just make sure all the layout, all the elements flow. Again, it does go a little bit slow. You can't tell in the footage, but I did speed up the coaster a teeny bit. In this turnaround element is going to be our plaza area. Like I said, we're not going to work on the station and queue line today, but that'll be the next episode because right now we're going to work on a restaurant and a gift shop. So obviously Planet Coaster now has modular restaurants and gift shops in the game, which I think is a great addition, and it'll really push my creative boundaries, so to speak, instead of just slapping down a little tiny wooden box and putting a food stall in it and calling it a day. This restaurant, I don't have a name for it. I don't have a name for the gift shop either. If you guys have name suggestions, let me know. But this restaurant is going to be kind of like a wooden, as I said, it's going to be a sawmill area, so it's going to be kind of like this wooden lodge sort of build. Definitely, I think I build the best when I don't have like a plan and I just go with it. Like here, I didn't have a planned build in mind for this one. I just kind of just let my creativity go. Some of the stuff I added on the building, I think I added not a lot of depth, but it definitely made it look a little bit better than just being a small wooden box. Just the interior flooring here, and I'm going to add a small outside portion undercover, obviously, because if it rains, nobody wants to be out there. This back portion area isn't going to be anything. It's, I guess, in Planko world, it would be like the backstage kitchen area. Maybe I'll add like a backstage room back there, just for the staffing, because I know there's some staff buildings in the game, and if you want to manage the park when I put it on the workshop eventually, you can do that. So I'll put in the infrastructure for that. Just putting handrails on the walkways, just make it a little bit more realistic, so people won't go walking off into the rocks. And yeah, here's our kitchen over here, and then I'm going to start adding the booths. Again, this restaurant, I didn't make it hyper-themed. It's more stylized, like the Wood Lodge. Coloring the table. I noticed that there's like a little pink floor to it, like a pink base. I couldn't change that. I don't know why. But these other tables I had no issue with. These roofs are actually from the... Are they from? I don't believe so. I know somewhere in the build I did use the roofs from the sorcery pack, because I think they're really good roofs. Again, I'm not sure it is. The windows I definitely used from the sorcery build. This says townhouse window. But yeah, the sorcery pack, I haven't had a lot of time to experiment with that yet. I built some coasters like off camera just for fun with the sorcery pack, and I definitely want to add at least one of those models into this park, probably the motorbike model, because I think I could do some really cool stuff with the hills in the background kind of weaving through. The other family coaster I did off camera also will be kind of weaving through hills. It's very similar to another coaster that just opened this year. I think it's this year, unless I'm losing track of time. Yeah, I think it's this year. But when you see it, you'll know exactly what it's inspired off of. I mean, I might as well just tell you now. It's the family coaster I built off camera is a B&M family invert, inspired by the Big Bad Wolf. Ideally, I did want to make it like an arrow suspended, like the old Big Bad Wolf, but unfortunately, they don't have that in the game for some reason, so I had to settle for the family invert. Yeah, that turned out nice, and I'm excited to theme it up in the next episode. Just look at this tree. This tree is huge. I had the random scaling and rotating on for the rocks, and then it carried over to the tree, and the tree was massive. Anyway, next we're going to work on the gift shop. Now, the gift shop, I wanted to go for a slightly different approach from the Wood Lodge. I wanted this one to be kind of look cheap, kind of like a 99-cent store almost. As I said, this park is inspired by both Schwaben Park and Feusdrill, and I was looking at some videos of Schwaben Park, and it kind of looks run down to me, honestly. It doesn't look like a very fancy themed park. Obviously, they're most known for that chicken coaster, which I'm pretty sure they put up for sale. I don't even know if they still have it anymore. But yeah, it's an interesting little park, really quirky. Again, the buildings don't look extremely nice, but they do try with the soundtracks and stuff. So that's kind of like what this park's going to be. It's going to be like the park's not going to be extremely nice, but they're going to try with theming and stuff. At least make it look sort of nice. It's not going to be like a Universal. It's going to be more like a Tripsdrill or Swabbin Park, where it's going to be sort of family owned and very small, and kind of like focus on the attractions rather than some of the buildings. Uh, yeah, just putting some shelves in with the modular gift shop feature. In the future, I do have to color the shelves so they're not all like blue and white. That's pretty boring. I'm sure there'll be more gift shops in the park as we progress with the build. It's not in here yet, but in the real time you'll see I put some posters on the walls just to add some like character to the walls a little bit instead of just making it a fully like a tin box. Just added some windows on the outside just to make it a little bit more pretty. As I said, I did want to go for that 99-cent store like tin box feel. I didn't want anything hugely fancy in this place. Be putting the roof on soon. I added the trim just to, again, make it look a little bit nicer so it's not as plain. And again, we're sticking to the sawmill theme, so again, it's kind of like a warehouse almost. Might add some like wooden beams and stuff in there off camera. Yeah, just now we're gonna put in some. I believe we're gonna put in some plants now. We are coming to the end of the time lapse. I did put a guest services building in. We are coming to the end of the time lapse, so I'm gonna transition you over into real time soon, so you could see what I did off camera. I added some details in to some of the builds. Guest services here again. That'll be translated in the real time section, and yeah, so I'm really excited for what we got, and I will see you guys in the real time section. So. Alright, so now we're in Feusdrill Forest. Here's the real-time section of the video. As you can see, I did some updates to the entrance area. Wasn't very happy, as I said, with like how flat the building looked, so I added some details, put the bathrooms on the side. I think every park entrance should have bathrooms outside. You got this over here. This basically means accessibility in German, because our park is German, obviously. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce it. Tickets, I tried to get a German translation, but it's just tickets, I guess. I have one of these gargoyles from the Sorcery Pack DLC that just dropped. Over here, that means rentals. I think it's rentals, not lockers. Rentals, yeah. Do get the stroller rentals and everything. More tickets, another gargoyle. These lampposts from the Sorcery Pack. The boss is over there. I'm not going to do a parking lot for this because I want to conserve space and piece count. So our sign, the Feusdrill Forest with the lights, kind of like the Tripsdrill logo. And we get the frog. The frog will be kind of like our mascot, sort of. It's from the Sorcery Pack as well. I added some damage details to the side of the building just to give it a little bit more depth. As I said before, it's a combination of, I guess, Tripsdrill and Swabbin Park, because I was looking at Swabbin Park. It doesn't really, look, it kind of looks a little bit run down. So, we'll just say that these are new. So the park is, trying to look better, but parts of it still look run down, as you'll see when we get inside. Come in here, the lights over here. See, as I mean, they want to be themed, sort of like a sawmill, but then they put these lights in, so it's kind of just contradictory. That pathway down to the left, that will lead to a flat ride at some point, and that coaster down there we'll get to in the next episode. We got our restaurant over here. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think the chimney and the windows and the wood give it a lot of depth. We got a little outdoor portion over here with some vending machines, and you got the inside portion. Just with some lights on the side. You got the kitchen over here, booths lining the end. You got our little plant section over here with our rocks and our it's dirt, but it's supposed to look like a mulch, sort of. More over here. This means guest services, as you can see. Just probably like an information stand where people can buy the fast passes and stuff. I'm not sure if this park's gonna have fast passes yet, if you have to decide that. And then here's another building that I'll just talk about, kind of run down, sort of. I gotta fix that. It's a gift shop, so I kind of made it to look like a warehouse, sort of. So you come in here, you got the lights, and it kind of just looks like a warehouse, like a store that you'd see on the side of the boardwalk almost. Just metal walls, some posters lining the walls, and yeah. Come down here. This way, there's nothing there yet. Probably maybe a flat right there. I want a big centerpiece structure. We'll come over here. So over here, I want some sort of flat ride. I want some sort of central structure over here that you can see from the entrance. Probably right there. Right here is our wood coaster, GCI wood coaster. Looks pretty good. Again, as I said, it's inspired by Mamoog at Tripsdrill. Kind of a better version of it, because a lot of people say Mamoog is crap. just some bunny hops at the end, added another turn, made the layout shorter because I don't, you know, every coaster doesn't need to be 5 miles long. About 110 feet tall, so it's a decent sized GCX. And yeah, so future plans, we're gonna have hopefully a flat ride over here. This is just expansion room, so I can cut to the back. I haven't given you guys a good overview of the biome yet, but I'll add more to the back if we get back there, which we probably will. Just these rolling hills for now, and some lakes and trees. Over here is another pathway to our coaster down there, which, as I said, we'll get to in the next episode. And yeah, so the next episode we'll be working on the station for this wood coaster, the Q line. We'll be working on that coaster over there, and we'll probably build that central structure that I want to build over there. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me. If you got any name suggestions for this wood coaster, as I said, please feel free to let me know. I do have a name in mind, but if you guys have a better name, just let me know. I just want it to be themed to a tree. It's just like a sawmill, light sawmill area theme, and I want it to be themed to a tree. As over there, we'll have our wolf coaster, as you can probably see by the layout, what it's inspired by, what it's a take on. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll get you guys in the next episode.